Hi, how are you doing? I hope you're ready to do some math. I thought I would show you a little bit about fractions. I've sent some worksheets home and some different games for you to try. And we have talked about fractions, but I wanted to do a visual representation to show you equivalent fractions. So I don't know if you've been doing a lot of cooking. We've been doing some cooking around here. And I have these measuring cups that I use all the time, you can tell. So this is a cup. This is half a cup. So this one is half of this. And then usually you have a third of a cup. So 3 of these would equal 1 of these. And then finally I have a quarter cup. So 2 quarter cups would fill half a cup. And how many quarter cups would fill 1 whole cup? Do you know the answer? I'm going to show you. Now I also have measuring cups that look different. And these are the same measurements, but they look completely different. This one is meant to look like you're holding a mug, and they all stack together. I like these because they're flexible. And when I'm cooking, it's just easier for me to grab. These are made out of rubber. This is plastic. But I wanted to show you, you probably already know that this is 1 cup. This is also 1 cup. This one looks a lot bigger than this, but I'm going to show you that they hold the same amount. So I have a big bag of rice. That's what's in here that a friend gave me. So I'm going to fill this measuring cup to the top with rice. And I don't know if you know when you're measuring that that's what you're supposed to do. Fill the cup to overflowing and then use your fingers. Of course, you have to wash your hands really carefully, like we're all doing right now. So this is 1 cup. This is also 1 cup. So when I pour this, the green cup into the red, I should do it so you can see, it will fill. Okay, my rice is sticking, which is a different science experiment, not math, of static electricity. I'm just going to show you. Oh, there's Athena. She makes an appearance in all my videos. I should make that a quiz. Where did you see Athena in the video? Get extra credit for finding Athena. So when I fill this one could actually hold a little bit more. If you put liquid in here, I fill it this far because obviously otherwise when you're picking it up, because it's flexible, it will spill. So this is 1 cup. This is also 1 cup. They look different, but they hold the same amount. Now you can see that the bottom of this measuring cup is a lot smaller, where this cup is the same size all the way around. Oh, Athena's coming to check out the rice now. So the next thing I wanted to show you, you already know this, because you guys are very smart, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it without making a huge mess. But my idea was to pour half of the rice. Actually, I'm going to use this to scoop the rice in, and then I'm going to pour some. I love that these are flexible. So I'm going to put half of the rice in the half cup, and so if I put it right there, you can see it better. I'm going to put the other half of the rice in this measuring cup, which is also half a cup. It says it on there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So I'm going to pour. Boy, I need to work on my YouTube videos for sure. I need a lot more practice. I don't want a lot more practice. I hope I don't get a lot more practice. By June, I should have this down. Again, static electricity is making my rice, because it's very dry, is sticking to my little Rubbermaid cup. But now you can see that I have 2 half cups of rice, which is equal to 1 whole cup, except there's still some in there. I'm not going to be able to get it all out right now. This would happen if we were in the classroom too. We'd all be talking about it. You'd be laughing. Rice would be spilling everywhere, I'm sure. Miss Maggie would probably be the one running this lesson instead of me, because she always does the fun stuff. And Miss Lori would have some wonderful art project to go with it, I'm sure. Now I'm going to pour some of the rice from the half cup into the quarter cup. Do you know how much of the rice is going to fit in the quarter cup? I bet you guys do. This is a very smart class that I have. They know the answers before I even show them. So, okay, now my quarter cup is full. And I have this cup. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's a third cup. That's not going to work. I want this one. It's a quarter cup. I'm going to pour the rest, I think, from this half cup. That's my hypothesis. A quarter cup plus a quarter cup should equal 2/4, which is the same as 1/2. So these two together would equal 1/2. So there's been times where I'm doing some cooking and my half cup is dirty and I'm lazy. I don't want to wash it. So instead, I would use 2 quarter cups, or maybe I'm doubling a recipe and it calls for 1 whole and a quarter cup of flour or sugar or something like that. So I know I would double the 1 cup, make it 2 cups. That's easy. The quarter cup, sometimes I cheat and I do 2 of them. But I could make it easier on myself and just remember that 2 quarter cups is the same as 2/4, which is the same as 1/2. Now when I add a quarter cup and a quarter cup, I don't get 2/8 of a cup. Because if I had 2/8 of a cup, then when I reduce it, I would still only have 1/4 of a cup. So when you're adding fractions, and I'm going to show you a worksheet where this will make sense on paper, you add the top numbers on the fraction and you leave the bottom number the same. So a 1/4 cup plus a 1/4 cup equals 2/4 of a cup. And we know that 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So if we divide the 2 and the 4 both by 2, we get 1/2, which is what I showed you. I can pour these right back in. Or spill it all over the sea. I told you that was going to happen. All over the place. I have to get a vacuum later on because there's rice all over me now too. Now I also have a 1/3 of a cup that I showed you. I have this 1/3 of a cup, and I also have this is 1/3 of a cup, and this is also 1/3 of a cup. How many thirds do you think I would need? Now I can't get these two confused. These two look very similar. Do you know which is the quarter cup and which is the 1/3 cup? You can tell, but when I'm holding them, it's a little trickier for me to see. In the video, you can see this is a little bigger. So this is 1/3. This is a little smaller, so it's 1/4. How many 1/4 cups do I need to fill 1 whole cup? Maybe I should do that before I do my 1/3. How many do you think? You could look here and see. It might. Oh, this is a 1/3 cup. See, I told you, I gotta look at the numbers. Okay, now, how many? There, that's better. Quarter cups, do you think? I bet you guys know. So I'm adding the top number and leaving the bottom number the same. I'm gonna dump this rice back in the bag so I don't make another big, huge mess. And I am going to fill my quarter cup. See how many times I need to fill it. So here's one. Oh, I am for sure going to make a mess. When I'm cooking, I make a huge mess too. Do you make a huge mess when you're cooking? Especially if I'm baking something. Here's two. What do you think? How many more will fit? I bet you guys already knew the answer before I even started this. But this is going to help you because you're going to have a lot of fraction worksheets to do. All right, it looks like I used the right one. I got to make sure. It looks like it's almost full, but I'll tell you what, if I pack it down, there's still a little bit more room. I'm going to do a 4th cup. Oh, this is going to go great. I can tell already. And fill it up. I think I filled these 2 overflowing because it should be 4 quarter cups equals 1 whole cup. Because you would do 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. And you add the top numbers. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You leave the bottom number the same. So it would be 4/4. 1/4 cup 4 times would fill 1 whole cup. Now I want to show you a cheat sheet that I included in your packet. It looks like this. This has all the equivalent fractions on it. Now it says you can't use this as a number line because the spacing is not to scale. So this does not show you how much, well, the 6/12 is at the right place, but the other ones are not necessarily at the right place. But if you look, 1/2 is also equal to, like I told you, 2 4s, 3 6, 4 8s, 5 10s, and 6 12s. And if you have your multiplication facts memorized, that makes it really, really easy to figure out when you're adding and subtracting fractions, which we're going to be doing some more of. Now, I told you I was going to do the 1/3 cup, and I bet you guys already know how many 1/3 cups would I need to go into 1 whole cup. I bet you know. Let's see if we can do it. I'm not going to do it overflowing this time. That way I don't make a big mess. So here's 1. Here's 2. And there, this time, it worked out perfectly. There's 3. So 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. Add the ones at the top. 1, 2, 3. Leave the bottom number the same. 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 1 whole cup. This comes in real handy when you are doubling a recipe or say you don't have enough of something. Sometimes I don't have enough flour to make 2 apple pies that the recipe calls for, but I could make 1 apple pie, so I have to half the recipe. And we're going to be talking more about how you can do that, but the more you bake and cook and do hands-on work with measuring cups, and this is a great time, if your parents will let you, for you to practice making some easy recipes. And maybe I'll email you some of my favorite recipes. We like to make pasties, and it's a really easy recipe to double because the recipe I have calls for 4, makes 4 pasties, and sometimes I want to make 8 so that we can freeze some. Sometimes I only want to make 2. So if I make 8 pasties, I have to double everything in the recipe, and it's a very basic recipe, so it's very easy for me to double it in my head. And if I want to make fewer, make 2 pasties, I would half the recipe. So I only use half of the ingredients, which gets a little tricky with the salt because there's not a lot of salt in there, but you can do it and figure it out. So I will send you some easy favorite recipes that I do, and hopefully you can get a parent or adult to help you do some cooking as part of your math. And then I would love to know about what you made and the recipe that you followed, and whether you needed to double it or half it, or whether you just followed the recipe exactly what it said. It's a really great way to introduce you to fractions and have some hands-on fun learning. So I'm going to show you how to do some worksheets with fractions in another video, but this was just an introduction to hands-on cooking and using fractions. Hope you enjoyed it.